Yo, what's going on YouTube? Dang, got stuff in my little bit of hair I got. Well, I got some news. So, I made a video talking about I was looking for a different career path. I was ready to get out of trucking. And I applied for the state troopers, right? But what I applied for the state trooper is being a motor carrier officer. So, I'm not sure how it is in all states, but in my state, motor carrier officers aren't officers. They're not sworn officers. So anyway, I went in, I did my background interview, got grilled, whatever. And, some stuff on there, so, how do I say this? So my record is clean. I got tickets like most people, especially in trucking, I got a couple of, my last ticket in trucking was, when I was doing heavy haul, I got an overweight ticket, whatever. It's whatever. A couple of law book violations, a couple of seatbelt tickets, stuff like that, right? Nothing really crazy. But when I was a kid, a teenager, I got a ticket, me and the homies, because, we was in the park playing basketball, started getting dark, and, we was just in the park just chilling, right? Cops rolled up on us, gave us citations. Didn't think nothing about it. Didn't think nothing about it, right? Paid it, cool. So, I applied for the state troopers, motor carrier officers. And it asked do you have any felonies or misdemeanors and everything? So I said no. I didn't know I did. Didn't think I did. Long story short, I go do my interview, and then the guy he's like, hey man, you said you don't have any felonies or misdemeanors. You're ready to clean. I said, man, I'm ready to clean. Because I'm pretty confident. I haven't been arrested for nothing. So he's like, yeah? I'm like, yeah. He's like, you see this? It's the in the park after dark ticket. That's a misdemeanor. I'm like, hold on. What? He's like, yeah, that's a misdemeanor. So I'm like, hold on. So, not just me, but all my homies, or ex-homies, whatever, we got misdemeanors and didn't even know. It wasn't even explained, nothing. We just told it was a citation. So, but he reassured me, he's like, man, you should be good, man. That's nothing. This is what I need you to do. Go home, write this, explain your ticket, whatever, email it to me by this date, so I can submit your packet. So I'm like, okay, cool. So, it was like 2 weeks. And me and my old lady, we was talking. I'm like, man, you know what? I ain't gonna lie, man. The excitement is wearing off. 'Cause I was pumped. I'm out there running, jump roping. The excitement is wearing off. Next day, I get an email from the state troopers. I'm pumped up, like, yeah. When I do the next thing, permanently banned. Permanently banned. I'm like, what? I'm not gonna lie, man. I was kind of hurt. Cause I'm like, a permanent ban, I'm thinking about the stuff you talk about. I'm like, over a fucking seatbelt ticket? That right there. So I emailed Duke, you can appeal it. And let me tell you, that appeal thing, what a waste. So I emailed the guy and said, hey man, I want to appeal this, what is the reason? A permanent ban is kind of excessive, don't you think? To be permanently banned from applying, that's kind of excessive. So, I'm like, my record is clean. I don't know what can be the problem. if it's the at the park, then like, no, I was literally in the park at the dark with my homies. We got done hooping. We just in there talking. Cops rolled up and gave everybody tickets. Like, you shot me in the same kind of grass as a motherfucker who got a DUI, who steal, who rob, who beat. I'm in that same boat. So, you know, he emailed him back. I'm looking at him like, you know, I mean, I had to Google him. So I'm Googling everything. I'm like, yeah, okay. You know, the blank state troopers, you know, we do a very rigorous, you know, background investigation. And pretty much saying I wasn't worth it. I wasn't worth it. And I'm just like, hold on. So you mean tell me I have a top secret clearance for the military? A top secret clearance, right? You know, I don't know if y'all understand what it means to have a top secret clearance, but it's very rigorous. It's real thorough. At least I believe it is, you know, from what I had to do to get it. And then I'm like, hold on. I have my hazmat. You know, you gotta get your background, you gotta get your fingerprints. I got my CPL. I was cool with all of that. I can carry a gun. I can carry all kind of dangerous stuff around this country. You know, I can know, you know, some of the top secret shit that the military have. I can't be a state trooper. Now that is mind blowing to me. I'm like, hold on. I can transport. I mean, I never did this before, but I'm like, but I can transport nuclear waste or just nuclear anything. I think because, you know, the foreign hazmat. You know, I can carry fuel. Well, not anymore. I don't have it no more. I don't do hazmat, but I had that ticket way before I got my CDL. I used to be able to haul fucking fuel. I can carry a gun. I got a top secret clearance to the military still because I'm still in. But I can't be a state trooper. Not only I can't be a state trooper, I can't be a motor carrier officer who's not even a sworn officer. I ain't gonna lie, man. I was kind of heated. I was like, now I can become a cop, so I can become a cop. But I can't become a state trooper. But then I started thinking about what me and the interviewer said. You know, we was talking, you know, and we was the same color. And he's talking about, you know, his process when he got in, you know, 30-something years ago. And you know, about, you know, how many of us that was in the, you know, our color that was in it, how many graduated, whatnot. And I was like, damn, you know what? Is that the reason why? You know, I hear so many times, it's like, you know, that person was a kid back then. You shouldn't be held liable for what you did as a kid. Like, you know, you know, you on Facebook and shit, you know, teenager did something, got life in prison, you know, you scroll, you know, and they gotta have to be, you know, something that's not brown, you know, you gotta be like, well, that person, they shouldn't get life because they shouldn't be held responsible for what they did when they was a teenager. They should be given a second chance. So I'm like, where the fuck is my second chance? All I got was a after dark seatbelt, after dark fucking park ticket. But you know, me and my cousin talking, he like, look, man, you don't want to be, if they disqualify you for that, then you don't want to be there. Cause I was like, man, should I make a fuss about this? I'm like, to me, I understand rules and regulations and all and laws and everything. Something like that just seems so minor. I didn't get an indecent exposure ticket. I didn't get a ticket for doing drugs on top of that, being in that park after dark. I just got a ticket for being in the park after dark. Me and the homeboys just got done hooping when we was teenagers. Citation, paid. Didn't even know it was a felony. So that's what kind of like teed me off a little bit. But then, you know, more thinking, and I was like, you know what? I make more money driving this truck anyway. I want to get out of it because I'm not sure of the future of trucking. That's why I'm trying to be ahead of the game, just in case trucking do just happen to disappear. I want to have my backup plan. I want to be in my new career field. So that's why I'm looking for a way out, right? And I'm not disqualified being a cop. I can still be a cop because most cities are hurting for officers, right? Because what happened? They bounce to go somewhere better, have better pay, right? To me, it's all about getting your foot in, you know. And then there's other things like customs, you know, border patrol, you know, ICE. But I was just like, I can't believe that's what got me disqualified. But it is what it is, you know. I think it's like something really stupid. I ain't gonna lie, something like that. Not a DUI, not a robbery, not theft, not abuse. Being a park after dark. But you know, it's whatever. I'm gonna keep driving my truck, and I'm gonna just keep on trucking. You know, I just figure out my next plan later.